Alright, I'm going to talk about a knot called the Larks Head. It comes in handy for a lot of different things. You could do a Larks Head with a rope that's a loop like this, or just a single piece of rope. You could do it with either one. What you would do, say if you're going to use this loop, and this is, you're going to tie it around here, just take that, and you can either run the bottom part of it up through and pull it down so it looks like this, or you can take the top part of the loop and run it down through the bottom. Either way works the same knot. And then if you're doing it with just a single piece of cord, just make a small bend in it. It's called a bite. If you work with rope or anything in knots, that's called a bite. Make a bite, put it over there where you want, take the ends of your cord, pull it through, tighten it down, and it looks like that, same knot. So one way that this could come in handy is when you have your tree strap. I got my tarp hanging here and got a tree strap. If you're using a toggle or cinch buckles or something like that for your hammock suspension, they make pretty good water breaks. You know, the water, because when your strap's under here underneath the tarp, your hammock's underneath the tarp, part of your strap that's going to the tree is exposed to the rain. So, and it'll start running down your strap, and it could eventually get your hammock wet. Well, having a toggle or a cinch buckle suspension or something like that, beetle buckles, they all work as a pretty good water break to make the water run down and then just drip straight down to the ground instead of getting your hammock wet. But another thing you can do if you're not using that kind of suspension, or if you just feel better about having a secondary water break, you take your cord, just wrap it around, same thing, bring the ends up through there, tighten it down. Now you got a good water break, and in this case you'd have two. The water would come down, hit this, and then drip down to the ground. And if any water did get past this, it would hit your toggle or your cinch buckle or whatever. But this is going to stop the majority of the water. And you could also tie multiple of these on one strap to help, you know, to make a water breaker. A lot of people call them drip lines, but you could tie, you know, 2 or 3 on there or whatever makes you feel comfortable. Because the tarp's going to keep you nice and dry, but that water running down from the tree down the strap to your hammock can get you wet. Be the same thing, you know, with the loop. Just take the loop, grab the bottom, bring the bottom loop up through the top, tighten it down. Same thing. And then one thing you could do is another way of doing it. Like, say you had your tie-out ropes that your stakes are going to go down through, and maybe the loop on there is a little big, and you know, when you stick it all down it should be good, but maybe you're just a little worried about that being loose. So you could take this, and if you look at this, you bend it down. Let me get this out of the way so you can see better. Bend it down like this and fold it back. So now you've just tied a Larks Head, and you can put your stake through it and tighten it up, and it's the same knot. That's Larks Head. So now when you stake it down, the cord would be tighter. But that's all it is. It looks, if you fold it down so it looks like this, and then just fold this back. So now you're looking at it from the side like that, and stick your stake through there where my finger's at, tighten it down. Works good. Another example of where a Larks Head would come in handy, like I've got this loop, and this is a D-ring. You can see it's got a little, you can see that. It's got this little hole in this beastie D. I want to attach this to that. instead of trying to tie some other kind of knot or whatever, I've already got this loop. I stick this loop through here into that hole of that plastic D-ring. Now I've got my loop up here on my finger. Take the other end of it and pull it down just like you did with the other knot. And then now you've basically got another Larks Head. It's just a different way of doing it. And instead of having 2 strings coming through here, you've only got the one, but it works really well. It's a quick, nice, easy way to attach your rope to something like this instead of having to tie knots and everything, especially for people that aren't good with knots or aren't comfortable with knots. And if you had some oddball situation, and you could do the same thing, like I tied that Larks Head knot on that strap, I could do the same thing. I could make a bite, run it up through that hole, pull the ends through, tighten it down, same thing. There's a Larks Head there. So that's a quick, easy way to attach, like if you needed a cord to pull out your tarp or something like that. Same thing you could do down here on these. It's called the Larks Head. It's a nice little knot, comes in handy for a lot of different things. And actually the more you use it, the more purposes you will find for it, the more places it comes in handy and everything. So quick, easy knot to learn how to tie. It just takes a little practice. Hope this helps out somebody.